There may have been a few more greats in that. Igraine wasn't sure. The castle was not large. It had only a single tower which leaned over sideways, and the walls weren't much more than 2 feet thick, but Igraine thought it was the most beautiful castle in the world. Wildflowers grew between the paving stones in the courtyard. Swallows nested under the roof of the tower in spring, and water snakes lived under the blue water lilies in the great castle moat. 2 stone lions high on a ledge above the gateway guarded the castle. When Igraine scraped the moss off their manes, they purred like cats, but if a stranger came near, they bared their stony teeth and roared. They sounded so terrifying that even the wolves in the nearby forest hid. The lions, though, were not the only guardians of Pimpernel. Stone gargoyles looked down from the walls and made terrible faces at any stranger. If you tickled their noses with a dove's feather, they laughed so loud that the bird droppings crumbled off the castle battlements. But their wide mouths could swallow cannonballs, and they crunched up burning arrows as if there were nothing tastier in the world. Luckily, however, the gargoyles hadn't had any arrows or cannonballs to eat for a long time. It was many years since Pimpernel Castle had been attacked. Once upon a time, life hadn't been so peaceful. For Igraine's family owned the famous singing books of magic, and many powerful men had wished to own them. Robber knights, dukes, barons, even 2 kings had attacked Pimpernel to steal the books, but they had all gone away empty-handed, and since Igraine's birth, life had been quiet at Pimpernel. Just smell that! Igraine put Sisyphus down on the windowsill beside her, and took a deep breath of the cool morning air. A delicious smell of wood ash, honey, and vervain met her nostrils, and a shimmering pink glow rose into the sky from the top window of the tower. The magic workshop where Igraine's parents cast their spells lay behind that window, for noble Sir Lamorak and the fair Melisande were the greatest magicians between the Whispering Woods and the Giant's Hills. "Why are they working magic so early in the morning?" Igraine whispered anxiously into Sisyphus's pointy ear. "I don't suppose they've even had breakfast yet. Do you think they're worried my present won't be ready in time?" She quickly brushed a few moths off her woolly pants, climbed into them, and put her great-grandfather's chainmail shirt over her head. Igraine had worn it ever since she found it in the armory, although it came down to her knees, and she had to admit that it wasn't very comfortable. Her big brother, Albert, wanted to be a magician like their parents, but Igraine thought magic was dreadfully boring. Incantations, spells, lists of ingredients for magical powders and potions. Learning all that by heart gave her a headache. No, she'd rather be like her great-grandfather, Peleus of Pimpernel. He was a knight who fought in tournaments and had adventures from morning till night, if the family stories were to be believed. Albert laughed at her ambition, but that's big brothers for you. Now and then Igraine took her revenge by putting woodlice in his magic coat. "Laugh all you like," she said when Albert teased her. "You wait and see. I bet you 10 of your tame mice I'll win one of the king's tournaments someday." Albert loved his mice, but he accepted Igraine's bet all the same. As for Sir Lamorak and the fair Melisande, they always exchanged worried glances when their daughter came down to breakfast in her mail shirt. Her family definitely didn't think much of her plans for the future. "Come on, Sisyphus." Igraine buckled up her belt and put the yawning tomcat under her arm. "Let's go and do a bit of spying." She ran downstairs to the great hall, passing the portraits of her ancestors, who all looked very glum, and pushed open the big gate leading into the courtyard. It was a lovely, warm day. The scent of flowers filled the air within the high castle walls, mingling with the smell of mouse droppings. "Oh, Sisyphus, Sisyphus," said Igraine reproachfully as she carried the cat downstairs with her. "If you lay off Albert's mice for much longer, we'll be treading on them when we cross the courtyard. Couldn't you at least scare them away now and then?" "Too dangerous," growled the cat, sleepily closing his eyes. Ever since Igraine had sprinkled him with Albert's red magic powder, he'd been able to talk, though he didn't often feel like it. "You're just a scaredy cat," said Igraine. "Albert may keep threatening to turn you into a dog, but he'd never really do it. He doesn't know how. And even if he did..."